Hey, you ready? Welcome to the Say Michael podcast. Hello again. Thank you for joining me on the Say Michael podcast, one man's attempt at business, family, and comedy. I am your host. You know who I am, Michael Agbajan. And we are at episode 28. 28 is a special number because so far in my existence of 35 years, that has been the hardest year of my life when I was 28. And it was super hard because there are so many things going on, and on the surface it looked all great, but behind the scenes it was a disaster and a fire. And I put out fires every day, every hour, and it was just super challenging for me. So yeah, 28 is a special number. That's why we're here. 28, let's go. But today's been a little bit special as well because we are currently looking for a new barber instructor at the barber school. And the reason why is because the instructor that we did have, who's been with us for, I'll say, the last 3 months. Okay, he decided not to come into work anymore because his car broke down and he didn't want to take the bus. Now, these things has happened to me before, at least on the Waterboy side. I remember I had an employee, who bought that car for $500, and then, with all his money that he had, $500, didn't have enough money to buy, to even put gas in the car, ran out of gas, didn't show up to work for 4 days, and I asked him to take the bus, and he was like, I got a car. I was like, if you got a car, then use it. But if you can't use it, find another means of transportation. He's like, yeah, but now that I got a car, I can't take the bus anymore. Mind you, this is all coming back full circle with our last instructor to Bite the Dust, where he said his car broke down and got totaled and all these different type of things he was mentioning. We probably just got impounded, honestly, if you want to know the truth. And we picked him up to come to work one day, which is this last Tuesday. And the day after, we're asking him to come into work. We're not even asking him to come into work. He's just like, hey, I won't be coming in because I don't want to take the bus. So you're going to have to find a new instructor. Yeah. And this guy's above the age of 40. And you know what they say? A fool at 40 is a fool forever. Because how can you just abandon all of your responsibilities like that? I don't know. I really don't know. And to say that just because you can't take the bus is the reason why, like that was his specific reason. I'm not coming in because I don't want to take the bus. I ain't taking the bus. Man, the stuff I deal with, the stuff we all deal with on this side, it is insane. And you wake up and you have to problem solve. You have to figure out who are we going to bring in next. And then we put out, quick ad, on Indeed. And then the previous instructor that we did have responded and said, hey, I see y'all are hiring again. Hey, I see y'all put an ad up. Would y'all put me back in? No, sorry. We can't go backwards like that. And I guess that's the same logic that he used, because he's like, if I can't, drive my car, I ain't going to take the bus. I ain't going backwards, But sometimes backwards brings you forward. That's a little gem right there. Sometimes going backwards brings you forward. Man, that's cool. Yeah, so on other news, we started up with Wingstop this last Monday, and it was awesome. It went great. It was interesting because You know, I already had two guys go straight over there um, to start the day, you know, and, I'm going to go check on them, somewhere around like 10:30. So they're supposed to get there at 10 a.m. I was going to check on them at 10:30. So then I'm driving and I'm like on the road looking for this corporate office for Wingstop Corporate. And, I'm looking right the entire time. So I'm going down the street, I'm looking right. I said, is this building? Is it that building? Because some of them look kind of vacant. I couldn't tell. And I was like, no. I took a U-turn. Then I looked back left and I was like looking down. I was like, I don't see it. And I'm looking. And then like it just hit me. And I said, look the other way. This is gigantic building. This gigantic corporate building. I didn't even think that would house employees. I'm thinking something smaller, like a little small, like school almost, right? Like a little elementary school as like an office building. But this was like this 2-story, looked like a LA Fitness, but 2-story. I was just like, whoa, that's their corporate? Huge. I didn't know they had that many employees. I was like, wow. So yeah, we started there, went great. The feedback was incredible. One of my, best employees was there. Patrick, he always gets the best reviews from everybody. It's almost where people specifically request him. I want him. I want Patrick. He's the one who always holds it down. And if you ever want to try it out, Patrick will hold you down. He's an awesome guy. And yeah, that Wingstop event went well. And it was cool. Like I told you, today was a special day because, I was a little bit like, what is bothering me? I feel like that's kind of like what it is to be an adult now, where you could be I could be upset about something and I can't really figure it out. What's upsetting me? And I'm like, what am I mad about? What am I mad about? You got to figure out because, as an adult, you have all these new responsibilities and you know what, just kind of hits at you, and I was like that today. I was like, man, I am upset with something. And I figured it out, because that's what you have to do. And it was the fact that, I'm trying to like back up things on my iPhone to make more space because it's almost packed, obviously, because I do a lot of video stuff like you see that's happening right now and have to make room. And yeah, so I'm trying to back up, the photos and videos that are on my iPhone, and I'm having trouble doing it. I'm having all this trouble doing it. And the reason I'm having trouble is like, all right, where do I put these big ass files at? So when I record a single episode, not only do I have to record my portion, which you're seeing now, I have to record me and my wife's portion, which is the second half of it. Those right there are already like 4.5 gigabytes each already, HD. And then I have to put those together, edit those down, get those together as a final. And that would probably make it around like 11, 12 gigs after I do that. And then I have on my actual iPhone, I have those 2 original files. And then I have the edited total file, like of everything. And that's usually about 20 gigs. So like per episode, you're looking at like 20 gigs. And I'm like, okay, where do I put all this stuff? I was thinking like, do I, store it, like just leave it on the phone or put it on my iCloud, or do I put it in my Google Photos? And I just been trying to find solutions to, free up space so I'll be able to continue using the phone as I will or as I like. But it's been challenging, and I left it all night and this morning just to try to put files into my Dropbox, and it just wasn't working. And I'm like, man, we got some, upcoming episodes coming. I got this that I'm recording right now, and I'm just like a little bit kind of upset and worried that I might have to get a new phone, or I might have to actually like go buy the cameras and all the stuff that I need tomorrow, which I don't want to do, but I must, because y'all gonna get that HD. I'm telling you right now. And I'm kind of going through this and I'm like, all right, this is frustrating me. So that had me a little bit upset, but it took me a while to figure that out, because I'm like, why am I so upset? Is it because this stuff's not working? Is it because the guy, the instructor? Is that why? Is it because today, business-wise, a little bit slower than it usually is? Am I out of business? Which is what every entrepreneur thinks every entrepreneur must think this. When every time it's just a little bit slower in your day, you're like, am I out of business? Did all my customers leave me? Are any of them coming back? That's what always happens. And then you wake up the next day and you're busy again. Not every day could be a home run. You know that. Yeah. But yeah, that's what's happening. And then also, I want to talk to you about the problem with stigma. Stigma. What's happening in this country right now. If you don't already know, in America, there's a problem upstairs. And when we talk about upstairs, I'm talking about the administration. They're saying that we will now, going forward, all hospital data will no longer be sent to the CDC, the Center of Disease Control. It will be sent to the White House first, meaning that all health or the issues that are happening in the hospitals about the coronavirus will no longer be sent to the CDC. It will be sent to the White House, meaning it will no longer be public. And that is another surprise hit from the White House. Another surprise hit. The leadership here in America, it's wild. It's wild. And I'm saying the problem with stigma is that it makes people hide the truth. And the truth is that in America, we are going through somewhat of a crisis when it comes to this coronavirus, what we're going to do about it, how we're going to respond to it. And the stigma behind being the country that's leading in all the cases and all the deaths is what you would call an embarrassment to any country, really, right? And the same exact thing happened with the Spanish flu, because even to this day, now mind you, if that happened in 1918, and now you're talking about 2020, even to this day, we still say Spanish flu. And it didn't start in Spain. The Spanish flu, Spain was just the first country to say, hey, something's going on. See, other countries, even in America, people were dying. People in China were dying. All these people were dying around the world, but no country wanted to admit it. They were all embarrassed, because they're saying, if we say that we have it, they're going to look at us like we're the people who caused it, and it didn't come from us. So, Spain was just the first people who said, hey, y'all, you see, there's a lot of people dying over here, and I see that it's happening everywhere else. There's something that's going down. And they deemed it the Spanish flu. And then Spain to this day has been trying to fix its PR by saying, look, it didn't start here. It's not the Spanish flu. We're just the first to say something about it. Why y'all even calling it the Spanish flu? And that stigma lasts. Think about it. That's since 1918. You're talking about 2020, and we're still calling it the Spanish flu. So, and the reason it happened back then like that is because no one wanted to claim it. And now you kind of see, history playing itself out, because no one wants to claim it here. No one wants to claim, hey, it's on us that all these things are happening in this country. So far, America is banned outside of, from so many countries, from most countries around the world, we're banned. Americans cannot go to other places because we could potentially get them sick. And it has a lot to do with these masks. I was telling my homegirl Christy, and I was telling her about do you see what's happening out here? She's out there in Austin working with Facebook. And when I told her, I was like, the way that we're handling it. What are your thoughts? She says, I think, America is a third world country with a Gucci belt on. And I was like, that's a magnificent description. America is a third world country with a Gucci belt on. Because she said, we're only 2 weeks away from being on the streets. Like, America is not what people think it is. We, are much more ghetto than we think we are, and this sounds like, and it's funny when I could just imagine America walking around a Gucci belt. Mind you, they think it's real. They think, like they're, like the baggy pants or whatever they put it on doesn't make them look broke. But hey, just because you got a Gucci belt on, don't mean you got bread. Trust me. A lot of people think that. I don't know how. A lot of people think that. But yeah, right now we're going through these times where now wearing a mask is so political, and it breaks down to if you're a Republican, Republicans don't wear a mask. If you're Democrat, Democrats wear a mask. It's down to that. Democrats wear masks, Republicans don't. And you have it in some counties where they it doesn't matter if like the state mandates it, but they would in certain counties, disregard the mandate, to mandate masks to wear here and there. And it's if you look at other countries like Taiwan, they had their first baseball game, fans cheering, screaming in the crowd. You got New Zealand, the prime minister doing her little dance. You know what I'm saying? She doing a little dance because like they, took it seriously more fast and they put themselves in position to win and they're reaping from that. And mind you, they don't want us coming over there so we don't reinfect anybody. So we don't start their second wave. But we just need a lot more cooperation, a lot more teamwork, on this side in America. And it's very peculiar what we're going through, because we're, without all this help, without having the proper leadership, we're seeing a lot of things coming. And the banks, if you want to know what the banks are doing, the banks are starting to stockpile cash because, and I'm talking about like Wells Fargo, our biggest banks, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Citibank, Chase, they are stockpiling all their cash. They're just hoarding all their cash. They're actually showing less profit. They're saying, we're not even going to say we're winning right now. We're just going to put this cash to the side because they feel as if all the help that the country has been getting when it comes to unemployment and extra unemployment check or even the loans that are going out, they just feel like we're not going to get a lot of these loans back. They're thinking that America put out a lot of toxic loans, even though they made like $18 billion off this whole PPP and just in fees. That's what they made, just in fees. But they're stockpiling cash and they're going to kind of say, hey, we're taking some losses because we're seeing something coming and we're trying to brace for it. So when the banks start to brace themselves, mind you, the banks are the ones who do us the most dirty. So at the end of the day, they're like stockpiling all their cash because they want to make sure that they have enough to withstand and stay alive due to what they feel is going to be a lot of unpaid loans. So they're already marking those out. Like those are just some losses we got to take, So, but see, it's weird because you got other places like investment banks, the banks that like don't rely on Main Street. They rely on like Wall Street, right? Like trading, like Goldman Sachs. They reported their busiest year ever because of trade, because Wall Street has been buzzing. I was talking to my brother today. He was like, hey, I'm going in, I'm getting trained on like trading stocks right now because too many people on my timeline winning right now. And I'm seeing that people came from just 1,000 in account to like 65K, just off of like trading. And I'm like, woo, I know. I tried day trading in the past and it is it's a lot. It's a lot, but he knows that he wants to get trained. He wants to figure out what it is that's happening. He wants to know for himself. And it's always good to get more information. It's always good. But yeah, Goldman Sachs is winning, because everyone's just kind of piling all their money in the stock market, because that's what the game is right now, if you don't already know, which is put your money in the stock market, kind of see what's happening in there. It's almost like gambling a little bit. You can't really gamble on sports. So people are putting their money into the stock market. And because of that, I learned a new term. The term ZIRP, ZIRP. ZIRP. ZIRP is zero interest rate policy. And zero interest rate policy is the fact that the Fed's got the interest rate at zero. So the reason why they got it so low is that's why it's hard for banks to make the money they need to make right now, because interest rates as a whole are so low, and the way they make their money is by giving out money and then making money off the interest. So when interest rates are low, it's hard for them to make bread. So zero interest rate policy, ZIRP. Yeah, it's a great word. It's a great term. But yeah, because right now unemployment is starting to run out, as you could already see. Unemployment is going to run out at the end of this month, the end of July, and from there, they're saying that they're preparing for an apocalypse of evictions, and luckily, there's not enough police in this country to get everybody out, because, like, if you see what's happening right now on a street level, people, listen to this. Some people are preparing for evictions, and they're like, all right, we're about to be out, so we got to figure out some type of crime to do to pile up, so therefore we could have a warm place to be for the next few months. And for people to be chatting around, figuring out what kind of crimes they're about to commit, so therefore they could have a warm place to be, which jail isn't the best option. But wow, it's getting to a point to where people are saying, look, there's not enough police here. They can't get us all out. We're going to wait it out, And then you got some people who are saying, all right, if they kick me out, get ready for some crime, because we about to be on a crime spree. And, we're going to find shelter one way or the other. One way or the other, you choose. That's what they're saying. You choose. You're going to say, like, you want the easy way or want it the hard way? It's your choice. Easy way or the hard way. And, a tsunami. Like I said, a tsunami of evictions, apocalypse of evictions, they say, are coming. And, some are saying that we must even prepare ourselves for group housing. That if you have an extra room, or if you have space in your home, that you must let the public in. And during a pandemic, what are you asking? What are you really asking? You're asking me to take risk? Man, this is crazy. Crazy times. But yeah, preparing for jail. It's crazy. People are preparing to commit crimes so they could go to jail, so they could get shelter and a regular meal on a regular basis. But this is wild. Also on other things that are happening, Amazon, they just created their smart carts. And, it's something I've been thinking of. I didn't invent it. Obviously, it's just something I've been thinking of. I was like, why don't they create a cart, and that matches up with the inventory in the store, where whatever you put in the cart, the cart automatically knows. Amazon created it. They created these smart carts where there's these little yellow carts. And when you go into the store, you get your phone and then you like hit the QR code on the actual cart. And then it activates the cart. Everything you put in, you put in a tomato, it adds a tomato. Take out the tomato, takes out the tomato. And everything you put in, it automatically knows. And then as soon as you finish, you just take the cart out to your car, fill it up, and you're done. They said it's another getting them in and getting them out type service from Amazon, and it's supposed to be super convenient. And they're continuing to innovate. I told my wife about it. I was like, yeah, about the Amazon, they create the carts and all that. And she was like, so who's gonna bag the groceries? I was like, who is gonna bag the groceries? She's like, yeah. So like, do we bag it ourselves if they don't have any cashiers? I was like, or maybe they just have a person who bags it. She's like, yeah. So who's gonna bag it? And it kind of sounds spoiled, right? Like we can't bag our own groceries. What is this, Aldi? No. Was it Sam's Club? No. So I'm like, who's gonna bag the groceries? That is interesting. Yeah. In a little bit, I actually have to go sleep in a little bit too, because man, have you ever woke up and I know that was random too. Have you ever fought your way out of a dream when you're thinking like you're dreaming and you don't know what's going on obviously on the surface, but below you're dreaming, and then like you do something in a dream and you just like, whoa, that happened to me. I know it sounds random, but it happened to me. I was in a dream, it had something to do with like selling Cokes or whatever. And, I come up, like we're trying to set up a store. Basically, it was like a store where like it's empty, and then like they get everything out of the walls and they fill up the store with all these things. I can't even describe it to you. It'll take too long. And, they get in this kiosk and they're saying, be right here. And the TV is above the kiosk. And, someone opens a Coke, actually a Lipton iced tea, and they shake it and it just falls everywhere. I'm like, what? So then, he says, the person who opened it, he was trying to impress somebody there or whatever. I don't know. And then so he shakes it, he opens it and it shakes everywhere. Then he looks at me and he says, if you're going to do it right. And I was like, if you're going to do it right. All right. If you're going to do it right. And then I'm like, for some reason I have this box and I'm putting these glasses, like these like drinking glasses on a shelf. And I'm trying to like put in like, better order or whatever. And like one of the glasses fell, and I'm like, it's under this whole type of shelf in this store that I don't know what just made up. So I'm like looking for it, and then something like hops on me. I don't know what it is. And then I'm like trying to look for that glass, and I'm like trying to get my phone. I put my, camera, my flashlight on in there, and I'm like looking around. Then I see something. I'm like, what is that? And I wake up. I said, what was that about? But then I was like, if you're going to do it right. And that's what inspired me to do this episode right for you. And on this next episode, or on this next portion of Me, Myself, and Bly, I got a surprise for y'all. I got some cool guests on there. And we're talking some mad-ish on that one. I want y'all to check it out. We're trying new things, adding new perspectives into the conversation. And it's going to be exhilarating. And just make sure, if you out there right now, you listen to this right now, brush your teeth. Another reminder, brush your teeth. Some people have forgotten that, especially with these masks that are keeping people from sharing their breath. People are saying, hey, I ain't got to brush my teeth, but brush your teeth, because your boy, me, still flossing. Every day, morning and night, I'm still flossing. And I hope you are too. I hope you stay flossing. Just understand that I love you, and that please join me, some special guests, and Bly. I'll see y'all later. Peace out. Hey.
What up?
How you doing?
I'm feeling amazing today.
Why are you feeling so amazing?
I took the day off.
Ooh.
Well, I was already scheduled off today. Mm-hmm. But I actually did nothing.
Did nothing as in like pool?
Yeah, I chilled in a pool. It was the first time I swam this summer.
Isn't that sad?
I know.
The entire summer?
The entire summer. And today's the first day I actually took a dip in the pool.
Well, add to your day.
Okay.
Got a little surprise for you.
Well, I like surprises.
You got some special guests who are going to join us on this episode.
Okay.
And just so you know, these are incredible guys. Two incredible guys, the host and co-host of the Dozens podcast.
Oh, cool.
And what they do is they kind of like laugh and talk about everything that you see on the timeline. So since some things popped up on the timeline this week, who better than to bring them on? And I'm bringing on Aron, Tech Club, and David Enajor of the Dozens podcast. Welcome. What's up, y'all?
What's up?
What's good? What's good? What's good?
What up?
Okay, who's David? Go ahead. Who's David? Talk first so we know who your voice is.
Yeah, it's your boy Dallas Dave. I'm here on the phone. I'm supposed to say on the mic, but I'm on the phone. Calling in with my boy Aron, Tech Lab.
Man.
What's good?
And Aron, let them hear your voice so they know who you are.
What's going on, everybody? How you doing? I'm Aron Tech Club. Yeah, there's really not much else to me. You'll figure the rest out.
Yeah,
You'll
so
either be shocked or appalled. One of the two.
y'all tell me a little bit about y'all's podcast so people know what it is.
David, you give them a little rundown.
We
Ease them into this.
Yeah, we essentially, me and Aron essentially team up every Tuesday and talk about the goings of the timeline, basically the events that have happened in the culture.
So when y'all talk about
takes on.
So when y'all say timeline, y'all talking about any timeline like Twitter, Instagram, anything that's going on there, right?
Anything that's interesting, that's causing conversation, we will go ahead and discuss that.
Oh, okay. And then how'd y'all link up together?
So,
go ahead,
I'll do that. Yeah, so me and David have known each other for a good long minute now. We met in college back in 2007. That feels
Which
like
college?
an eternity ago.
Which college?
University of Houston.
Let's go.
U of H.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go to cancel my student debt, please, if you would. But we met there as freshmen in college through our mutual friend John, and we just we've done some crazy things together. So we just kind of have this bond of friendship that rarely happens in modern male society, where two dudes can just be friends off the strength of just knowing each other.
That's true.
Having conversations the way we do on the podcast. So after talking to each other and cutting jokes and getting into hijinks and shenanigans for a decade plus, we sat down. It was probably around February.
Yeah,
before that Rona took over our lives.
That Rona.
And we were like, hey, why don't we take some of these conversations that we have offline or in the group chat and just let people in.
That's good. That's good.
Dave was with it, so I was like, well, then let's go. And so that's how the Dozen started.
Where'd the name come from?
I came up with the name because I'm the creative artistic genius here. No, I'm just kidding. No, the name is just simply a play on the concept of roasting. It's you're running the Dozens. It's another euphemism for just cracking jokes with your friends, on your friends, about your friends. So that's kind of where the name came from. It's just an extension, and it gives people an insight into the nature and the way in which we interact with each other. We're always cracking jokes on each other. We're always making fun of one another in a manner that comes from a sincere place of love and respect. So when you come from an honest place of friendship like that, the jokes can get mad flagrant because we don't really mean it. So it just gives the audience a little bit of an insight into, okay, these dudes is just playing, but boy, do they play dirty.
Yeah, we congrats on y'all's 21st episode. We just listened to it.
We did.
And
Thank you.
y'all touched on something we about to touch on.
Come on now.
Okay.
Come on now.
Will and Jada.
Rub palms together.
As you know,
Ooh, boy.
Will and Jada has been firing up all timelines, right? And y'all have a perspective about it, and we have an opinion about it that, we haven't brought that together, right? So y'all pretty much saw both videos. I mean, the whole video, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. The first part that caused a stir is this part right here.
I think you need to say clearly what happened.
As far as what?
You and I decided we were going to take our space, and what happened?
Yeah, and then I got into an entanglement with August. That's what I said.
An entanglement?
Yes. Yes.
A relationship?
Yes, it was a relationship. Absolutely.
All right, so tell me y'all's take on that entanglement part.
Man.
Oh boy. Dave, you're the heartbroken love child that you are. You go first.
Yeah. Jada using that term, it's essentially what every toxic individual uses to kind of frame whatever situation that they're in. Like at first, I guess these things were called situationships. Like I guess when was my first real entanglement? 2014. Yeah, it was right around 2014. They used to call them situationships. This usually are terms that people use that kind of get them away from calling shit what there really is, which was a fucking relationship.
Yeah, and
Jada used that term, and I don't know where she got that from, but God bless her for it, because that shit got everybody in a tizzy. So
well, the thing is that Bly, who's also a Virgo, just like Jada Pinkett,
Team Virgo.
wow.
Yeah, and how did you feel about, from your perspective, on the entanglement and women using it? Does it make her toxic?
Yeah, because I felt like she wasn't being all the way honest by using that word. You know, she was in a relationship. Like, just go ahead and say that. But maybe she didn't want to say it was a relationship because to her it wasn't a relationship.
So you think that when you define it like clearly as a relationship, what would happen if she did that?
She would be telling everyone that she was in an actual relationship. She would actually be agreeing with what he was saying, August Alsina was saying.
So do you feel that Will Smith was the mature one in that situation?
He was mature. He was just trying to get the honesty out of her. He was trying to pull it out of her. But the way he did it, he kind of threw her under the bus.
Oh, man.
By making her say what she didn't want to say.
That's true. So, look, David, you said you've been in several entanglements, right?
Yeah, I've been in several.
And how about you, Aaron?
No, because I'm a Leo, and we have too big an ego to ever indulge in such frivolity. Now we either in or we out, and usually we're out. But for me, the entanglement was just a piece of just poetry to me. Like hearing her come up with a new way to say that I was just stepping out with my side dude. That's brilliant to me. Like, I applaud the effort, because like you have to sit there in pre-production with your team, because you definitely know Will's not in the room, because he looked like he didn't want to be in there at all.
That's true.
Yeah.
So for you to just sit in there and be like, how do I say that I stepped out without saying that I stepped out?
Exactly.
We were kind of joined, but not really, because like he caught feelings, but I didn't really, because I'm a toxic savage. So it was kind of like a messy entanglement. Like for me, I appreciate the levels of future like toxicity that it takes to even approach that without like having to acknowledge, because it's the best way to say, yeah, I'm messy, without having to acknowledge that like being messy is bad. So to me, it was just like, this is pure like wordsmith theater, and I'm eating every bit of it.
See, Bly, you said you felt, I think you said you felt bad for August because she's a grown woman, and
Right.
so you feel like she misled him.
I felt like she did. I mean, I felt like from hearing his side first, he was all the way in, head over heels, in love. And she was just like, yeah, you know, he was around, you know, I was having fun, you know, the moment when I was down, he was there. So it was kind of like, I get to be young again. He kind of brought that out of me, but it wasn't like no real relationship.
In a situation like she used him in a way?
I wouldn't say used him, but maybe that wasn't her intentions, but that kind of happened, you know? I don't know. Maybe she just wanted to feel loved and young again. But she had no real intentions of being in a relationship with him. But because he's so young and he's like dating this hot older woman, he's like, yeah,
Jada Pinkett.
Yeah, we're gonna be together forever type thing.
Yeah.
You know, so I felt like she did kind of use him a little bit. But yeah,
But you feel like it fell on her when it comes.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, she's the adult. So, and then he was like, what, sick or something like that while they were dating. So she kind of used that too, I feel like. And then I felt bad for Will because when he was sitting there, it looked as if she never came clean, like all the way clean to Will. So when he's sitting there, he just looked like he was just hearing new information or something.
Didn't it sound like that to y'all? Like this is almost his first time hearing it, and he wants her to be honest because now the cameras are on.
Right,
you know?
exactly. Yeah.
For me, it felt like Will was sitting there like, oh, okay. See what happens when you out here being messy, unapproved, side post. See what happens when you don't Carfax your concubines.
Oh,
no, now sit here and tell all these people what you did.
But my thing is this: they were separated. So what you do while y'all are separated, you could do whatever you want to do. You know what I mean? So she was free. No, she was free because they agreed to separate because they was on the verge of divorce. So he said, you go figure out what makes you happy. And so if August made her happy in that time, in that moment, then that's what it is.
Hold on, David, you disagree?
No, I actually agree with Bly. Like, I actually watched it again right before we got on. Will said they were separated. And he basically told her, "Hey, do what you need to do to feel young again or feel happy again."
Right.
And I think Will was aware. Of it, not to the extent of what was going on, but I mean, he had to have known, like, hey, they're all going to these award shows. Hand on the hip.
That was awkward. Yeah, I think that's a little much though.
You don't put the hand on the hip of somebody that's just your friend, right?
And he clutched the hip. I was like, whoa.
You saw a cuff?
Yeah.
You saw the meat cuff?
Oh my! Like he probably was okay with her dating, jumping in and out not relationships. He probably thought that she was just gonna like.
Take her time,
or just be a hoe, just slut it out real quick or something. Just get it out her system, He probably didn't think that she was going to actually be in a real relationship.
Yeah.
And the fact that she was in a real relationship and she had to admit that to him, I don't think she ever admitted to him that she was in a real relationship with like a 22-year-old, So.
Yeah, because that age difference, it does matter to, like, young people versus older people.
Right.
Look, all women above a certain age know the game, so there is no playing the game. He's still wet behind the ears.
Right. Because I know if that was to ever happen and you went and dated a younger girl, I would feel some type of way. I'm like, oh, so he had to go get a girl half my age to make him happy. You know what I mean? So I know Will
thank you for saying that. Thank you for putting that out there.
Yeah, she had to go get a younger man to make her feel alive. And he's like, I've been with her for 20 plus years and I can't even make her feel that way.
This is the second thing in that conversation that hit deep.
Okay.
So, you during that time launched into an interaction with August. What do you feel like you were looking for?
I just wanted to feel good. It had been so long since I felt good.
So
man,
that's crazy. It's
that
like she had
hurt me.
She didn't have it in herself to make herself feel good. And then her husband didn't make her feel good, so she had to find somebody half her age to make her feel good about herself. That's weird to me. I don't know.
If you saw the video on that part where she said to Will, it was a heartbreaking moment for him.
I know.
Because did y'all hear how long she stretched out it was so long.
I know.
Yeah.
Like you as a husband, you giving her a break, bro? And then next you know, she said it was so long. It's almost as if he never made her feel good ever.
I know.
Man. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all notice anything in that area, or was it more about the entanglement that got y'all's attention?
Oh no, the whole thing was. I've studied this like Spygate. Like this tape is so fascinating to me because, like, to me, this entire 13 minutes is like a masterclass of how not to be married. Even that, speaking as someone who's not married, like this is everything that I've ever wanted to avoid in a relationship. Like, to sit there and hear your wife say, "I just wanted to feel good."
Ooh, that hurts.
Felt good so long. Like after the third O and so long, that's what I'm calling my lawyer and be like, "Hey, bro, whatever the state of California says she gets, but I am out. This is not it."
Do you feel the same way? Like, I mean, is everyone the same accord with that? That was like a moment in that conversation?
I agree.
Yeah. And it's crazy that she said that, like, she hadn't felt good in a long time, and basically, essentially, she was saying that she was trying to find happiness in other people. Will, I don't know if y'all remember, but when Will kind of like broke onto the scene on Instagram, he had this long diatribe about, you know, finding your own happiness or pursuing your own happiness. No plug to his movie. But basically, he said that you have to find that within yourself. And it was kind of crazy to me going back and doing some the timeline about her in August, and then Will basically getting on the gram and becoming a social media superstar. It was just like, yeah, it makes sense that Jada would try to go out and do all these things, but especially with Will saying, like, he told his wife, you can't find your happiness in other people. Mind you, my dumb ass was thinking, oh, she's just trying to find it in the Will. We'll be fine. Nah, she was trying to find it in August, and it's tough because instead of her confining Will or whatever, I don't know why they separated in the first damn place, but
it had to been, if you read between the lines, it had to been to something like that was on her. Because if you know, she says she has a codependency issue, and then, you know, like, a lot of things are kind of inherited. So from her mom being in and out of 4 different marriages, you know, and, you know, learning from that, and then, you know, her never actually being in a, I would say, sturdy relationship almost all her entire life, and then she gets with Will, and she still, in essence, can't find that happiness for herself. I feel like she is the person who's the problem. If you saw in the conversation, the body language, that's what I saw, that Will was the one who was her strength. She's the one who's like, I'm always messing up. And when he kept leading with, like, I was going to talk to you again, it must have been something on her. Yeah. Because she was like, she understood completely, like, I understand. I'm surprised that you're talking to me now. I was like, well, okay, she must have did something. Right. You know, and so I feel like there is something within the relationship, you know, that kind of falls where I'm not sure if this even makes any sense, but would y'all consider, like, Will, even though they're married, would you consider Will a victim in this whole thing or not?
Who wants to go first? Because I got thoughts.
Yo, go ahead.
Okay. So I don't remove culpability from Will, even though I think he's the person who has to answer the hardest question in this whole L of a love triangle that they got going on. Like, what are you, so as someone who's married, what are you supposed to do when you're in love with someone who doesn't like you anymore? That's a hard question to answer. Like, you love somebody, but they don't like you no more. And because if you like someone, you won't go fall in love with your Stella got her groove back boy toy. Like, you're not gonna be out, like, publicly, like, shaming my name. You're not gonna be out, like, giving, like, spiritual advice while you've got the devil sitting at home. Like, you're not gonna be doing that if you like someone. If you love someone, love will make you do some crazy shit. Love will make you jump on Oprah's couch saying you love this person so much, and then make them convert to Scientology like you Tom Cruise. Love will make you do some crazy, absolute nut shit. But liking someone, there's a sense of respect there. Even if that respect isn't, like, internally based, even if it's just, let me just put respect on their name as the talent that they are, as the brand that they are, as the person that they are, external facing to the world. But when you act in that manner, when you go and, out of all the dudes in Hollywood who would have domed you out, who would have pressed you down, you went and found the sick nut dude who's the R&B singer. Like, come on.
Do you feel that
like, we know how the Hollywood game works? Like, monogamy is merely an option up there.
So are you saying that she, like, disrespected Will by choosing him specifically?
Replace the name Will with yourself. Would you feel disrespected?
I feel disrespected if she chose anybody that was out there like that and then went that far.
I think it was the relationship. It shouldn't have been a relationship, because let's say she did, you know, if she fell in love with him and he fell in love with her, she could have ended the marriage with Will and married him. You know, like he's like, no, that's not the point. The point of us separated wasn't for you to go find another person and be in a relationship. It was just for you to just figure out what makes you happy. And I honestly feel like this was like Will's first time even hearing all this since August had voiced everything. I feel like he didn't even know before that, because it looked like he just was crying like before he even got on,
his
on
face
the
was
Red Table
puffy,
Talk.
eyes light red.
I'm like, is this like his maybe first time even hearing all this stuff? You know, maybe he thought that, maybe he just knew that they were dating or they were just kind of fooling around, but I don't think he really thought that they were in a real relationship.
Dude, what do y'all think?
I know for me, I think maybe this was his first time having to process it.
Yeah.
Because
that's true.
I'm sure he's heard it before, because clearly they got back together. But I think this is his first time he's being forced to process the magnitude of what it was, because the rest of us know about it.
Exactly.
Like if we never found out, I think they would have just swept this under the rug and moved on with their life.
100%.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So do y'all feel it was a little bit? You feel like she should have did that on her own, or do you think that it was helpful having Will there?
It was helpful.
Because if it was just her, we probably got a little bit more information. But you don't think so?
I feel like she would have just sugarcoated the whole thing.
But you think it's helpful, David? You think it's helpful?
Oh yeah, I think it's helpful because I mean, Will kind of like Blythe said earlier. Will had to coax her through some of the things, like when she came up with entanglement. What the fuck is an entanglement? Just call it spade a spade. It's a relationship. You know, Will had to coax her through that. Will had to coax her through other moments in the Red Table Talk where Jada was kind of like trying to crab dribble her way or harden ISO her way to get into her point. And Will was like, "No, come on, Jada, come on, call it what it is. Call it what it is." And eventually, Jada got the courage and got the strength to put the shit out there for the masses during the Red Table Talk, and you know that's probably why she had Will there, because she would have been kind of hemming and hawing and saying, well, you know,
that's
wasn't
true.
really that serious and all this other rubbish. So
yeah, she would have BS her way into.
But I feel like
thing.
maybe she BS her way to him. Like maybe she was telling him, like she sugarcoated it to him about the entanglement, to Will. And then once August came out with everything, Will had to come back and be like, "Is this true? Like, were y'all in a relationship?" You know, that's how I feel. Like, I feel like Will was caught off guard by the actual relationship of them two.
Oh, in the video, like that.
Well, no,
you talking about
just in the past. I feel like when August came out with the video saying that he was in love with her and this and that, I feel like that was Will's first time actually hearing that. And maybe Jada at that moment had to be honest and say, yeah, that's what it was. Because I feel like before that, maybe he didn't know, and she just sugarcoated and was just like, oh yeah, it was just like a, you know, a little thing, you know, a little fling, you know, whatever. But who knows?
And then
I know for me, I think it's important to contextualize like the moment in which both of these videos, I call them works of art, but to contextualize the moment in which both of these pieces came out and were delivered to us. Because again, if we don't know about none of this, like all of us quarantining in our house would have just moved on with our lives, not thought 2 cents about it. But the fact that this was August's rollout to the album that none of us have heard, like,
it's so true.
And then the fact that Jada is only responding in reaction to one, the August rollout and the tea being spilt, as it were, even though there was a whole bunch of flowery, like, esoteric language in that video too. That's what happens when you don't stand in front of a real journalist. And then the media spin that was happening, whether it was Variety or Hollywood Reporter, where there were statements being made on her and her husband's behalf, like completely denying the whole thing. So now they're both caught in a catch-22, where it's like somebody's lying on us, saying that we're lying about him. So now we got to come out and just air this all out. Me personally, I would have rather seen Jada sit there by herself, because I consider myself a pretty decent person in catching like what a liar is and when a person's lying, because I've lied a whole bunch in my life. So I can see when someone's like trying to BS me. So I feel like if Jada would have just sat there, maybe looked at her own reflection in the mirror, like a Disney song, and just like said whatever she was going to say, do her spin job however she wanted to, and just talk to us, I feel like that would have gave us more insight into the why of why she was with August, and the why as to why she was so adamant about never saying anything about it. And also, I think it does an unfair job to Will to have to constantly be the emotional support to walk. Like, why do you have to be the emotional support to the person who brought you your own trauma? And this is an absolute extreme. Don't take this anecdote for anything more than just word vomit. But like, why do I have to coach the person who murdered my family how to plead guilty on the stand? Like that ain't it for me.
See,
I would have rather just seen her in her own words.
I partly agree. I mean, I low-key agree with you when it comes to if it was Jada alone. I feel like if it was that, which I probably would have, been a little bit more like keen to, like, again, what he's saying, like her movements and the things that she's kind of sugarcoating, where the fact that it was both of them means that after that conversation, there is no addressing it. You know what I mean? Like that's pretty much it. But if she had came out with a 30-minute, whatever it might have been, and people still had questions, those questions would have came out later on. But
you don't think she would have sugarcoated it though? Just like sitting there, she would have made it look all pretty, dressed it up.
Not based on her brand. Her brand is bringing people to the table, getting to the truth.
But she wasn't trying to be truthful.
I think the opposite. I think precisely because it's her brand, she would have sugarcoated it in the most elegant, like, PC Hollywood version that it could have possibly been. But like, you can, like, once niggas know the truth of it all, you can't lie to us no more. Like, we know when you're full of cap. So it's just like, oh, okay, we see what it is. We see what you're trying to do. It would have fooled millions of people online, but like, those of us who, like, if you know, you know. Right. And now we all know. So you can't BS a BSer.
And then it went.
So I would have wanted to see that.
And then it went to I think y'all know the cherry on top, which is the final ending.
We ride together.
We die together.
Bad marriage for life.
Man,
that was the cringiest word. When I heard it, me and Bly looked at each other when we were watching. We were like, "What?
I know,
what is
so
that?"
Confused.
What y'all think about that?
David, go. I'm about to throw up.
Yeah, honestly, I just felt like, and it's part of the reason why I felt like Will was there. Like, it's a parachute for Jada. Like, look, it's out there now. Everybody knows that they've had issues in their relationship. There's been rumors before, and like now these are like confirmation of the rumors that their shit went left. It was a parachute. It was a terrible parachute. It had a whole bunch of holes in it, but shit. It landed for him, I guess. Like, maybe they both sprained an ankle or two, or broke a leg on the way down. But it was a parachute. It landed. It was very, very cringy. Probably like mid 2000s Will Smith, where a lot of his movies didn't hit well with me because it was just like, you made Men in Black, you made Independence Day, now you're coming out with Hancock. You can do better, Will Smith. But it is what it is. I mean, it is a bad marriage at the end of the day. Like, I don't like how they worded or phrased it and tried to make it like corny at the end, but I mean, it is what it is. I can't. They called it what it was. It was just terrible how they presented it. So,
man, you know what I want to know though?
What
was Will doing during that break? Who he was messing with?
I think Will was doing
the Instagram stuff.
Yeah, I think he was.
You want to know? Because I have a list.
Tell me.
Nah, I'm just being messy at this point.
I really do think he was working on himself.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what we call it now?
I mean, no. His Instagram blew up.
No, you know why? You know why I disagree with that? Because the way he said, "I'm gonna get you back."
Yeah.
That sounds like a man who decided to give up all the nice guyness. He's like, "Oh, this is what we're doing now." I bet. And when a dude says, "I bet," some terrible decisions are about to happen.
But I don't think Will's a savage like that though.
I don't think he's a savage either.
You think?
I don't think. I do not think.
Maybe he's not a savage because he's married, but what she did to him can make him become a savage.
I don't know, because I feel like Will overall, if you just look at him on the outside, he seems like a very sensitive person.
Right.
So someone doing something to him that he, in essence, doesn't want to do to himself probably hurts him in a way that he's like, you know what, at the end of the day, I still got to put out positive energy. I still got to be kind. I still got to be these things, because if you saw, he was the one saying, like, you know, what do you say, 25 years and counting. And he kind of gripped his jaw when he's saying, like, yep, 25 years and counting. And he's like, we in this forever. You know what I mean? Like, it's on him, because he's saying, like, there's been times within this relationship that we could end this whole thing, but like,
And I think we watched.
I'm in this. You said what?
I think we saw one of those times on tape.
Yeah. And that's why I feel like, so it does question, because, you know, me and Bly, we're married coming on 5 years. And it makes you think.
Congrats, by the way.
Thank
Oh,
you.
appreciate y'all.
It's actually 4, but who's counting?
Hey, yeah. That's true. All right.
Somebody's counting.
Somebody's counting.
Yeah, well, still coming up on 4
Well, I mean,
above.
you're
so,
right.
so 5 still is an actual fact.
It's there.
And so when you look at these things, you're just like, okay, if you're in a relationship like that, right, married, and that's the final thing, like, Bly, what are your thoughts on, like, no matter what happens, because that's what they're on. They're on no matter what happens, you know, like, there's not going to be a divorce happening, because he said that the things that hurt him most in his entire life was the divorce that he had.
Right,
and
his first,
his first divorce. He said that tore him apart. He said he still is empty, partly empty because of that.
Right,
you know,
right.
so what are your thoughts on that whole, you know, because y'all aren't married. Are either of y'all married? No.
Nah.
No.
Okay, yeah. So give me your perspective, because you know you're married to a handsome guy. So how's that work?
Yeah, of course he's very handsome. But I mean, I'm a ride or die. I'm sticking it out to the end. No, I feel like you can't go through. There's a lot that you can go through, yes, but I can't really speak on it until we actually go through it. You know, it's like when you're in a relationship and you're like judging your friends, like, how you gonna go back to that man? He cheated on you. That's crazy, you know. But she's like, I love him. I just love him. You know what I mean? So it's like, you really don't know what you're going to do until you actually go through it. But I know for me and for us, like, we stuck together
all day.
That's just how it
forever.
is.
Y'all hear that? I hope y'all taking some notes right now, right?
That's lovely. You know what? I know
said
I'm
lovely.
taking some notes. I'm gonna put them in a nice 3-ring binder.
Oh,
I'm gonna put them up in a nice dark part of my bookshelf to never read again.
Oh,
Because
my
if you
goodness.
think that I, as a 31-year-old man, will ever be in Will's seat, no. See me in court.
Oh my goodness.
See you in court.
But you're saying that now because you're not married.
I'm saying that now, yesterday, today, and forever. Amen and amen.
That's-
Do not,
but see-
you don't play me.
No, because see, look, let me tell you something. So my sister, who is 32 years old, all her life, when I tell you all her life, she never wanted kids. And I'm like, don't say that, because, you know, maybe when you meet that one, you may want to have kids. She's like, nope, I don't want to have kids.
So sure. She was so sure.
100% sure. And then we had kids. And she's like, I love y'all boys. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. And then now she's in a very serious relationship. She's like, yeah, I want to have kids. Of course. Why wouldn't I want to have kids? I'm like, see, it's like you said that for 31 years. And now you're 32 and you're in a serious relationship, and it hasn't even been that long. They only been together for like 6 months, and she's so sure that she wants to have kids.
So Aaron, you
just never know.
You just never know. And you know, just so I'm not sure if you have ever heard of something called like the sixth emotion, right? And they said you get into the sixth emotion whenever you have like kids or anything like that, where you completely could not think the way you thought before.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah, because you know, you hear everyone say it, you know, about when you have kids, you're gonna be different. You're like, nah, I'm not gonna be different. Nothing's gonna change the way I think, and there's no way. And then you have kids, and then you enter into this emotion that you cannot explain. So the same thing kind of goes into marriage, you know, kind of alike, to say, when you cross into that, you think the way you think now, you know, being a single person, thinking this, you know, rationally and saying, this is how I'm gonna handle it. And that's just how I am standard wise. That's how that's character. But whenever you get married or whenever you have kids, your thinking is gonna change, and you don't know why, but it's just one of those things. So I know you say it now, like, see me in court, but in 10 years, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
And I actually do understand the idea of the sixth emotion, or the higher nature, or that beyond that pathos or logos love. I get that. I completely understand evolving to a higher level of love that's incomprehensible to someone who's not in it. But just for me personally, I'm not speaking for nobody else. I'm not trying to assert anything on men or singlehood as a whole. Just for me personally, like, trust is by far the most important thing. So if you break my trust, I'm cutting you off for life. I hope you burn, or I hope nothing happens to you because I don't care. Like, once you break my trust, it is as if you never existed to me. And I've had to reconcile that with my own therapist. You know, childhood trauma is a motherfucker. But, like, I still have those trappings of, like, there's just some things I can't abide because it would be detrimental to my own mental health. And as someone who takes that very seriously, I couldn't live being in Will's seat.
That makes sense.
So you couldn't heal from that. Is what you're saying.
He's there. I get why he's in that seat. I don't dismiss a crazy clown for being in that seat. I get why he's there. I just would have not been in that seat.
No, but are you saying that you don't believe that you would heal from something like that?
I believe my healing is my responsibility, and as someone who inflicts the pain on me that I have to heal from, you don't get to receive the benefit of me being healed.
I get that. And are you the same way, David? Because you're single too.
Yeah, I have a different point of view on that from Aaron. It really just depends on, like, what you want out of a relationship. So if I'm in a relationship and things are going smooth, and then bam, I find out she stepped out on me and whatnot. Yeah, of course I'm gonna be hurt. And younger me would have been like, oh, fuck that bitch. She can eat grass for all I get. I would make sure I burn the bridge. Aaron knows. He's seen me in my prime. I've seen you light the match. Man, shit. Dope kerosene over the whole damn bridge. Shit. Light a blunt. Smoke that bitch all the way down to a roach. Just throw that hoe on the bridge and then let that hoe inflame and let the bridge like. You like what's her name? Is it Angela Davis in that movie where she lights that dude's car on fire? Yeah, Angela Bassett, where she's smoking a cigarette and was it Waiting to Exhale? Yeah, the cigarette just throws it on and bam, the car. Walking away. That was younger me. But I mean, the older I get, yeah, Aaron is right. Your self-healing is on you. You know. But I understand we're flawed individuals. So if somebody stepped out on me, yeah, I'm gonna need time to heal on my own. But a part of me is always gonna be like, man, I'm happy, I'm content with myself, but I just miss this person. I miss being around this person. And me and Aaron talked about this on our pod. Like, friendship matters. So if your friend steps out on you, and I listened to our pod on Monday. Yeah, so both you and Bly were saying basically, like, somebody does some shady shit, or if their character's fucked up, that you wouldn't be able to be friends with them, and that's true. Like, character is character, but sometimes people do make mistakes, and me as a human, I have to be willing to accept that. So yeah, you might have stepped out on me. I'm gonna have to heal. We're gonna have to have that talk, and I'm gonna have to see, is this something that's gonna be is this a repeatable behavior from you, or is this something where, look, it was a one-off, down and out, I maybe fucked up with communication, I maybe didn't do this, you should have at least came to me and communicated that with me. Look, let's start from ground zero and keep working our way up, because I want you. It's not about me needing you, it's about me wanting you at that point. So yeah, I understand what Aaron's saying.
Come on.
You know, fuck it.
Through.
You know,
David dropping bombs.
Come through.
You step out on me, I'm done with you. I don't give a damn. You can croak or whatever. I don't really care. But me personally, like, I understand relationships are always going to be complicated at the end of the day. Like, you know, I've seen it with my folks. I'm not saying that my dad or my mom have done anything ill towards each other, but I've seen where they've had their good days and their bad days. Where I stopped when I was younger, like, oh shit, is this it? Exactly. Is that it?
Man, I used to be like that too. Like, oh, is this it?
Yeah, you know, and I've seen them, like, hash it out, start from ground zero, and keep building and keep building and keep building, and now they're good. They've been together for what? It's gonna be 34 years in October, so it's like, awesome. Me, Thank you. I appreciate that because I need them to be together. But now just seeing how other people have done relationships and how people have said, "Oh, I'm done with her. Fuck that hoe," or "Oh, that nigga ain't shit. Fuck him. Slinging dick all over town. I'm done with that nigga." And then them trying to come back after doing whatever and saying whatever and harming the relationship. Nah, I'm good on that. Like if I really value somebody, it's not about me necessarily needing them to function as a person in society. It's just I value that person's time. I just value that individual. So I'm gonna make sure that hey, we air it out. We're open and honest with each other, and then we can move on. Don't do that shit again, because then it's just a repeatable behavior. But if it's something that's a one-off, I'm good.
What you think?
I agree. I agree 100%. Like we make mistakes. No one is perfect, so mistakes are going to be made. But I feel like communication is key, and sometimes you just gotta take that moment to heal on your own and just, all right, let's get back together. All right, let's figure it out. Let's talk it through. Let's move on. So yeah, that's true. I agree. Man,
well,
so let me just throw a quick retort just because.
Gotta hear it.
So, like, I think it's really interesting, David, that you brought up that your parents have been together for 34. Yeah, my parents have been together for 32, and I think in a sense, all of us are all just trying to model the childhood relationship and example of love that we grew up under. For some of us that may have been single, broken home. Some of us may have been single, successful home. I grew up in a two-parent unit where I saw the model of trust exhibited in a manner that makes me have this baseline opinion that I have. Albeit, I'm always subject to fluctuate and deviate from that standard, but I know my standard has always been my parents' marriage, because if there's one thing that I've seen modeled within their union, is there is a supreme understanding of trust within one another, which allows them the ability and the opportunity to struggle in joy. When growing up, we was mad poor. We didn't have nothing. We lived in HUD housing. Like, it's, typical African immigrant story. But like the way in which they navigated through those waters, sacrificing for each other in ways that normal couples that I see growing up now do not have the capacity to do so.
Right.
Makes me have such a higher standard in that particular entity of trust.
Right.
Because trust allows you to get through really, really hard times. And with trust, you unlock, in my opinion, the skill of communication. Oh, yeah. Because if you trust someone, you're going to want to talk to them, because you're going to want to develop the game plan necessary to get through whatever rough patch you're in, whether it's, dad just lost his job, or, mom's struggling with, being sad. Like, you trust someone enough to, like, I have this analogy called the knife. So, like, I believe, like, the act of marriage should be a ceremony in which you hand your partner the knife that will hurt you. And then you trust them to never stab you with it.
Right.
And they do the same likewise. And in that dance of, like, exchanging the knives or exchanging the rings, whatever, like, there's a bond of trust. Like, I know I can leave the very thing that would kill me in the hands of the person I love the most, because I trust them to never use it.
Truly being vulnerable.
Yeah.
Exactly. And for me, vulnerability is top two most important aspects of a relationship, like most positive aspects of a relationship. Why am I with you if I can't share my deepest, most painful, emotions and moments?
Right.
Like, if I'm just here to build a business with you, if I'm just here to build a quote unquote traditional family tribe with you, like I could go do that, like, anywhere.
Yeah, you can do it on your own.
But if I'm really here to build an emotional bond with you, I have to trust you.
Right, exactly.
And trust that she'll never use it against you.
I understand the opposite reflection of opinion there too. So I don't want it to come off as like I'm this hard line, like, oh no, you cheat, you're gone. No, because like for some people, cheating's not that big of a deal. Like, you go sleep with somebody else. That's not but like my trust anchor is maybe something else. It may be, oh, you spent this money that we were supposed to use for the rent this month, or it could be, oh, you're holding on to this relationship that I told you to let go of because they bring a negative effect to our house. Like whatever that trigger point is for losing trust. For most people, it's infidelity, but for some, it's something completely different and benign.
Right.
For me, like once you pull the trigger on breaking that trust, for me, you can't put the bullet back in the chamber. It's out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there are other things like other than infidelity, like respect. Right. You know what I mean? Like not having the respect for another, like your partner, is like key. You know what I mean? Because even a lot of people who are vulnerable with people, they end up like whoever they shared that with, you know, who's supposed to keep that, you know, like sacred to them, they use it against them. Right. Sometimes they use it against a man's ego, you know what I mean? Or they use it against a woman's insecurities, you know, and
we call those people toxic.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's why we call them toxic. That's why we call them savages. It's why we give them the Nevadius Future Award of the Year. Like that's why we do these things, because those type of people are not the type of people you can go into a relationship thinking, I'm building something like worthwhile and fruitful and lasting with.
Right.
But you know what it is when you signed up.
Yeah, exactly. You should know you should know what you're signing up with. So if you're in that stage of you're dating somebody and you see that they're toxic as fuck, do not allow your infatuation for that individual to cloud your judgment. That's where my line of thinking is. If you understand that this individual is not toxic, and then you go on through the stages, talk, date, engage, marry, things are pretty good. You know, there's ups and downs, but marriages aren't perfect. And then bam, there's one incident where they fuck up. Doesn't matter what it is, but they fuck up. We all fuck up. We're all human. We're all made of the flesh. We're all gonna fall. As long as we get up, learn from our mistakes, talk the shit out, I'm good. We can keep moving forward and rebuild that trust day by day. Mm-hmm. What Aaron's talking about is, look, if I told myself after 28, 29, I don't do that toxic shit no more. Like, yeah, it's fun to go back and forth with somebody, and just because we're in the fast lane and shit's cool and the sex is great and this, that, and the third, but man, common respect and decency, like it's hard to find. So I'm not gonna sacrifice common good behaviors that I need to be able to function if I'm going to be with somebody, just because she can do this on my mead, or she's fun, or she can. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I don't ever want to be in a relationship just because of what they can do for me. I want to make sure that if I'm in a relationship with somebody, it's going to be something that's built to last, not something that's just, hey, let's go have sex in the bathroom because we're both drunk. Okay. No, I'm good.
But some people fall in love with that freaky, and then they get married and find out that, oh, we have to do other things. Like we have to be emotional.
Yeah, it's actually work.
Yeah, we have to build with each other.
Exactly, and I said this on the podcast that came out on Monday. Like, to me, that's why I think liking your partner is more important than loving your partner, because loving your partner is confining your like within the social boundary of time and space, right? So I like you for a certain amount of time, which means I like you plus I trust you equals I love you. But if you lose the like part of that equation, like, none of it adds up to love. You can replace the like with respect. You can replace the like with the crazy idea of like, I have to, like convenience. Nothing replaces liking your partner. If you don't like the person that you're with on a fundamental, like almost like esoteric level, it doesn't matter how much time you've been with them. You're not, like, love is not in that room.
You know what's crazy?
Which is why I think this quarantine is exposing a whole bunch of people to their partners for the first time. Like, and I said this last week, like, a lot of people are waking up in their bed this week realizing that the person they've been married to for the past 7 years, they don't like them because they didn't start from a place of liking that person. They started from a drunken encounter at a night, or a swipe right on Tinder, Or my homegirl says that you kind of cute, so I guess we should go out on this blind date and lie to each other that way.
Mm-hmm.
But you also find the opposite effect, though. You also find the opposite effect of people who were falling out of love in the quarantine have actually found love again between them. You know what I mean? Like they actually have the time to actually be with each other and find that. So I feel like you do feel on both sides. But to kind of touch on something you said real quick, as far as liking each other first, which I 100% agree with, is that me and Bly, we were like great friends, right? Like before we even got into a level of dating or being in love, we were like best friends. And when people say I married my best friend, like we say it without saying it at all in vain or just saying it because it's the cliche thing, is because when we argue or if we have like a disagreement or discussion, we're not thinking what's gonna happen. At the end of the day, we talk to each other as like real friends. You know what I mean? Like it's deeper. It brought a deepness to our love because we don't worry. Just like any friend, when you have an argument with a friend, you're not thinking, oh man, we're not gonna be friends like anymore. Unless just to that level. But at the end of the day, when you have a friend like that, you don't really worry as far as like disagreements go, or even not being able to be honest with that person. When it comes to like love, or especially like toxic love, there's a lot of not telling the truth to one another.
Right.
Interesting. Well, I know we're on like almost close to it now. I was gonna bring up this, like, all right, are y'all taking care of yourselves in this whole quarantine, this whole thing that's going on?
Define take care.
Yeah,
oh, Lord.
please do.
Because
Are y'all wearing your mask?
Yeah, y'all wear your mask.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because
I thought you meant like, are you seeing a therapist? Like,
no, I'm talking about because they're shutting down, or they just shut down California again. Y'all aware?
Yeah, I heard news of that.
Yeah, and then they're saying that Texas maybe next again.
Houston
Please.
specifically.
Yeah, Houston
Please.
specifically. And
No, please.
what do you y'all like the shutdown? Like, or like tell me y'all's thoughts on this whole shutdown,
Somebody
where
over
we're
there
at right now.
Aaron, you want to go first?
No, you go first, Dave. You're the one who's begging for it.
I know.
Here's my whole thing about the initial shutdown and why we need to go ahead and shut down again. Yeah, I know it's gonna suck because a lot of people are gonna maybe be furloughed and not be able to work, and I empathize with that. However, this is something we haven't seen. Like, this is an event we haven't seen in 100 years. I don't know if you guys know about the Spanish flu that came around in 1918, where it killed however many people. Woodrow Wilson was the president at the time. He's probably like
Kill 5 million people.
Trump. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
The government allowed people to have these liberties without any serious parameters as far as making sure that they can control everything. Like, yeah, they opened things up, but it was just like, hey, things are open up again. Just only 25% of y'all can go though, and it was just like, I went out that first weekend just because I had to go grocery shopping. I saw people everywhere. I saw people at restaurants, clubs, all together, no masks, buddy smoking hookahs and doing things
We
like
saw
that.
the same thing. Like, what?
Yeah, and I was just like, do y'all not know? Like, this is this is something that has never occurred. Like, this is a virus that has never occurred in the human body before. So yeah, everybody's fixated on death rates and only 3% of people are dying, and it's really only killing old people. So really, if you're under the age of 40, there's only like a 0.5% chance you'll die of this, that, or whatever. Look, there are long-term effects that are going to happen inside people's bodies that we have no
idea about. Again, people aren't thinking about that.
Yeah, people aren't thinking about that. So I'm just like, look, the government is supposed to make tough decisions to protect their constituents. And unfortunately, especially in the South, they have not done that. Like, Florida was one of the first states to basically to say, hey, everything's essential, so go out and enjoy. Like, Ron DeSantis is like Trump Jr. I think I'm smart and I'm just gonna be loud and this, that, and the third. And like, you look at Florida now, like, I haven't seen the numbers today, but like, they had 3 consecutive days where they were just increasing numbers, and they were in the
like 16,000 in a single day or something like that.
Yeah, like tens of thousands of people were getting infected with this, and like, they're running out of hospital beds. So everybody that was so concerned, that wasn't concerned because the death rate was low, well, guess what? When they don't have any more beds in the hospitals and ICU units available and ventilators available, guess what? People are that death rate is gonna start to increase exponentially. So I empathize with people that are going stir crazy, because me personally, I'm a homebody, so this really doesn't bother me. But I empathize with people that want to go out, people that want to have fun, especially during the summertime. But look, this is not the time. It's really not the time. So that's my 2 cents about it.
And hold on, before anybody goes on that 2 cents, do you have something to say on that?
No, I mean, I agree. I'm just being selfish. I just don't like being in the house. That's all.
So you're not for the whole shutdown at all?
No, I'm not for the shutdown.
That's
but I
real.
don't.
That's so real.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. I'm not a homebody, but I'm not out in the clubs. I'm not out in no restaurants. I'm not doing any of that. I'm working. I work in the mall. So, I'm wearing my mask and my gloves, but at the same time, like, I don't want to be at home, so that's just me being honest. But I understand why the shutdown needs to happen. I'm just being selfish.
See, I would be okay with the shutdown if they, were favorable in how they help people. You know what I mean? Because, the way that, look, people acting like the government wasn't helping like that when they're giving $600 federally on each week on top of regular unemployment. So I feel like that was what people weren't talking about. And then also that $1,200, that was nothing. That literally went to that was gone in seconds, But as far as if we do another shutdown, right, you're thinking, how can these businesses, because if it interrupts business to that extent, they're going to have other effects, and right now we don't know what's going to happen, and we can't be in the house forever, exactly. So it's one of those things where you have to decide like what's best for you. And in this country, it's a little bit because look, my homegirl said this, and tell me if y'all agree on this. She said America is a third world country with a Gucci belt on. Because she said, like, we're
Gucci belt was fake, yeah.
Yeah. She's like, everyone's 2 weeks away from being on the street. Just given the fact that we have so many freedoms, but then also everyone's using credit. Everyone's using all these, these little things to kind of get by. And if you shut down, just like, California, and let's say this pandemic lasts for another, let's say 5 years, 10 years, because you don't know if any type of vaccine is going to come out or any type of treatment is going to come out for it. I mean, we can't keep doing this for the next 5 years. You have to think of, okay, what are we going to do? But no one really has the answers because no one's really seen this before. So it's a little bit wild to me. But then also, if I must interject again myself, is that, like the fact that the numbers are low as far as people dying, because you see it now. There's way more people, getting COVID-19, but the number of deaths aren't rising dramatically like they were. You know what I mean? Like, it's still like, it hit like 130 like 3 weeks ago, and it's like at 132. Before, it was going up like 5,000 a week. People dying. I was like, whoa, this is crazy. But now it's like dropped, but I'm not sure if that means anything. But Aaron, are you ready for like a shutdown, or are you against it?
Oh, me personally, no. I'll be asked out if the economy shuts down for real. But I'm in agreement with y'all. Like, we need the shutdown if the business of the country is to save American citizens' lives. Yes, we need to shut down.
Right.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news for everybody here. That is not the business of America Incorporated. America Incorporated is in the business of growing its GDP by any goddamn means necessary. Preferably if it kills those of us who look a lot like us. Right. So I don't think we should expect another shutdown. I don't think we should expect another $1,200 check. I think those PPP loans are about to go bye-bye. I think these evictions are about to go up, like they've already started in Harris County. I think we are about to hit the precipice of hell in a handbasket, the likes of which we haven't seen since like 1932. This is Great Depression Part 2 levels of like economic like downfall. But in the same vein, a lot of people are about to come up super heavy off of this because that's the business of America. America is built on getting people rich and keeping those rich people richer than the people they steal the money from.
Oh yeah,
right now they're stealing from every poor essential worker. They're stealing their blood, sweat, time, equity, and now they've dipped into their health bag. Now we don't care if you die. Now we don't care if you get sick and contract some sort of lung equivalency to that of a 60-year smoker. off of a disease. No, we don't care. Get out there, go scan those groceries, go serve us in our restaurants, wear a little mask if you think it'll help. But we don't care. We trying to eat like kings. That is the business of America. So I don't have this optimistic hope that like, oh, we're gonna save our country. No. The country's operating exactly the way it was intentionally designed, way before anyone on this podcast was a twinkling in their parents' eye. So I'm not surprised by none of this. I wish it was better, but none of this surprises me. I have probably the most pessimistic view of this. I think that death rate number is going to if that number does not hit 1 million, nothing's changing.
I think it was going to hit 1 million. Yeah. I think by this time next year.
I put what little money I have left on it.
But see, when you're talking about that, like y'all heard about the guy who went to the COVID party, right?
Yeah.
And and I was in Texas, and people are thinking, because again, I was talking to Bly earlier about, I was like, what the one thing that conspiracy theorists never have with them are like facts or proof. Like it's just they have these conspiracies thinking that all these things are happening out there, but that guy went there thinking that it was again a hoax, and then I think his last words were like, I think I made a mistake. You know what I mean?
But how did you think it was a hoax if you are going to a party where someone tested positive? That's the whole point of the party, right?
Yeah, but I don't think he thought that you could really get sick by it.
Or he probably thought he couldn't get sick by it.
No, he thought that it wasn't, when people talking about you could really get it, because they have little video. I've never seen them. These videos where like nurses are swabbing, like random things like leaves and saying look, and then they test it and it tests positive. So they're saying we're just artificially putting up the numbers saying that these things, that COVID-19 is spreading when really it's not. It's a government thing and all that. So he's probably in this whole rabbit hole of conspiracies thinking this ain't real. This is a scare tactic. Let me go to these COVID parties and I'm going to show y'all like this is not something that's spreading. Wow. And then makes because think about being on your deathbed over like being skeptical, what I mean? Like exactly. How scary. Like I thought about
a YouTube video.
Yeah, that that really scared me the other day when I was driving, because I know y'all think about it every now and then. I know I do, where I drive in that, like when you're driving, you're like, man, have something happen, like someone didn't pay attention, or in my last moment, it's like right now, you know what I mean? And that person made these little steps. Now they're in a hospital alone, sitting in the bed, and they're like, man, I can't really breathe. I'm having issues, and I'm thinking like, please, I hope I don't die from just. And then they did. Like it happened to another person, same exact week. Who's saying, "I'm not going to wear a mask." The first thing they're going to do when they start making you wear a mask, next they're going to make you wear a burqa or whatever it is. Like what's a face covering? I don't know what they call it.
Oh, I don't know.
Like the Muslims.
Yeah.
And he said that's what's going to happen next. And he next thing you know, he gets it. Diagnosed, and 3 days later he dies on July 4th. Wow. So it's just like. It's just crazy out there. I'm pretty sure. Do y'all hear a lot of these conspiracy theories that are going out?
Yeah.
David, you're the one who got the Hotep hat in your back pocket. You tell them. I know you be in them chat rooms.
Yeah. Showing feet. Well, here's my thing with the conspiracy theories. Whatever. Here's my thing with them. When businesses are shutting down, I always say follow the money. So when rich individuals are saying, okay, let's shut down our business, let's do this, let's do that, let's find a way to make it safer. So if we do decide to open, we can have the business operating and it can be safe for our patrons. Follow the money. Rich people, if this was just some type of conspiracy that people were going to say, oh, well, we're just trying to get people to get scared, and then we can give them the vaccine so we can start doing the mark of the beast type thing, or whatever the hell type of conspiracy shit that I used to see when I was like early in my college days and shit. I don't buy that, because there's factual evidence that states that this is real. Like other countries are taking this serious. And now I'm not saying that, hey, we need to be shut down forever, because eventually, like, we're gonna have to start working. We're gonna have to start growing back our GDP, which is taking a hit. However, nobody in this country is taking this thing serious. Like our president, well, not our president, but the president.
Yeah, the president.
The president. Finally put on a mask over the weekend. And it's just like other countries have said, hey, put on a mask. Make sure you're social distancing. Make sure you're not hanging out in large groups of people. And like those countries are finally getting back on their feet. Like you see how a lot of the countries in the European Union are like now they're able to have sports. Like I think England said, the UK said over the weekend that they're going to start doing things to opening up bars and restaurants and make sure that they're at 50% capacity. Us, on the other hand, we had a very weak lockdown period. It was very vague as far as what's essential and what's not essential. There weren't masks weren't required.
Even for voting right now, early voting, they said masks aren't required.
Yeah, and it's just like, look, I understand that this thing is not going away anytime soon, but we need to do everything we can to mitigate this growing exponentially. We haven't done anything. We've just acted like, it's just the flu. You'll be all right. The heat will kill it. A whole bunch of guys that don't have anything more than a high school education telling me this shit, and it's just like, all right.
Yeah.
Well, if a virologist or epidemiologist is telling me like, hey, make sure you wear the mask just because like we don't know how this passes, but you know the mask can be some type of a layer for you, some type of a filter for you, regardless if it's an N95 mask or whatever. Some people are just like, I don't give a damn. Hey, is Stir open this weekend? Shit. You trying to hop on that hooker, bro? Hell yeah. Y'all trying to share the same bottle? Hell yeah.
But see, I don't know about our people if they think it's real. Because if you're talking about, I'm not sure if y'all know about a guy named DC 7 Up. He's like the guy who's above that strip club, V Live, you know? And because V Live is shut down, they're having these huge mansion parties where in Arizona.
What?
Yeah. Well, I'm talking, when I say.
Wait, V Live in Dallas?
Yeah, V Live, the strip club.
Wow.
But see, there's the other ones. It's like V Live Houston, V Live like Atlanta, V Live Miami.
I know the V Live in Houston very well.
Yeah, and because they're shut down, he's having they got this mansion that's in Arizona. And when I say there's like 300 people, strippers, doing the nastiest things, like, look, it's just crazy. And people are like, look what's happening. Like, it's like a Rona party, whatever. And, you know, just recently, you know, I was at this event called like the Millennial Growth Retreat, right? And they invited me in there to like speak and be interviewed. And I was the only person wearing a mask. Literally nobody else was wearing a mask. And I was like, I was like, hey, I just got to ask y'all. You know, it's the main guy coordinator. I was like, you don't care about a mask? He's like, well, you know, the thing about the mask is that, you know, it's a lot of negative energy. Less people think about. I was like, I'm not sure if I agree with that. You know what I mean? Like, it's not about energy.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. He says like everyone talking about
negative energy.
Yeah, everyone talking about COVID-19 is negative energy.
And you walked out of that building without an assault charge? Because I'd have smacked the fire out of him and like that's dumb shit.
Yeah, and I was like, and you know, we're in a situation where I'm amongst all these other people. No one's distancing themselves at all. No one has a mask on. And you know, they're all, you know, there comes that group think. Everyone's looking at me like, "What do you have a mask on for?" And I'm looking like, "Why don't y'all have a mask?" And then, you know, I'm not within the influence where I'm like, "Man, I'm not wearing a mask. Let me just go ahead and take mine off just because I want to fit in around." I'm like, "I'm gonna wear this mask because y'all are crazy." And then you think and you look at all the people who are like, they just think they're not affected by it. And even like Corey Holcomb, he's a comedian. You said, "What do you think?" Like, he's going around touring, you know, trying to do as many comedies clubs as he can, because he says, look, I don't care about this whole Rona thing. I don't even believe in it. He says, I'll open a door and eat a donut right after. I don't care. And you think, you know, and you think like, all right, what is it going to take for even our own people, you know, to be responsible? And the people I know, at least within my circle, are responsible. But the like what's out there in the public is literally like, or in the streets, however you want to call it, it's crazy right now. That's how I see it.
It's going to have to take like a big celebrity to say that they have it for our people to believe it. Like Beyonce, she's going to have to come out and say that she got the virus.
She might be the only one.
She might be. She might be the only person who can save our people.
When you say got it, is that enough? Are you talking about like get it and then something happened to him?
No, I'm just saying all she has to do is just say that she has it. Because it seems like all the celebrities that got it, they didn't have any symptoms. Yeah. That's what it seems like. Yeah. But if she actually came out and said that I have it and, you know, I'm not feeling well, maybe, I think people would take it seriously.
Man.
Not me, but.
Okay, so as far as our community is concerned, because at the end of the day, we're the only community I care about. So for us to be, like, first and foremost, this Rona shit is hitting us the hardest. So I hesitate to say that we're not taking it seriously, because everywhere I go, the only people who are wearing masks are black folk. Mm-hmm. So, like, I hesitate to put that characterization on us, because I mean we're fighting enough stereotypes as it is. But
I don't want to interrupt, but I do have to interrupt, because I work in a mall, and majority of our customers are black. And they do come in wearing a mask because they have to wear a mask to come into the mall or into our store, but they take the mask off as soon as they get in.
Yeah, which again, so I could double down on what she said. When I was there, I asked them, like, what do y'all care about the masks? Because some of them own businesses. It's like, I wear masks, for other people, but usually I don't wear a mask. I don't really care about wearing a mask. So I think it's more of like I would say almost a front just to get access. But yeah, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, well, you're gonna have people like that, and to be fair, anyone who's stepping inside of a mall right now, you've got to question their sanity.
Right.
So, but as an overall, like, I mean, there's way too many of us in the healthcare industry. There's way too many of us who work in hospice care. There's way too many of us who work in service or in essential business. Like, essentially, there's too many of us in essential businesses who don't at least understand that, one, this ain't fake, and two, like, this ain't effing with us.
Mm-hmm.
So, but to have like some sort of black united front, I think it's kind of a pipe dream, because because if that was the case, we wouldn't have all these Karens and Kens running around like beating down glass doors, demanding entry into their local Aeropostale to go shop at the clearance rack. So like, there's no unity on this regarding any sort of subculture within this country, because we're all going mad crazy, because we all are suffering from the same inept leadership. We're all suffering from the same inept greed and pure savagery from the merchant class in this country. Mm-hmm. We're all suffering from the lack of stability in our private lives. So to say that, like, what is it going to take for black people to take this seriously? I think we are taking it seriously. I think we're taking it just as seriously as everybody else, if not a little bit more so. But the problem is that too many of us aren't taking it seriously enough, regardless of who we are. Yeah. And I don't want to sound all lives matter on this shit, because God knows that's the last thing I'm ever going to be. But but I think because what I'm really trying to say is, pardon the language, although we've long crossed that road, we're all fucked anyways. Mm-hmm. So like, to what degree we get fucked, like, is kind of inconsequential at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got a word for y'all, because we're about to take this to the end. I got a word for y'all. Tell me if any of y'all know what this word is. Abhorrent.
Yep.
I know he knows. Mr. Vocabulary, yeah, I know. Hey, can you describe what that word is? Or, like, I don't want to put you on the spot, or the hot seat, but do you know what that word means?
I'll use an example. You know the face that Will gave Jada whenever she said entanglement? Mm-hmm. That was the face of a man suffering with an abhorrent nature.
Okay, that's perfect.
That's so funny.
Yeah, and abhorrent is inspiring disgust. You know what I mean? Like, something that's repugnant that you do is like, you know what I mean? So, you're on point with that one. That was actually a good one. Is that something that you experience on a daily basis in your life, or is that something that you use commonly?
I use it regularly. I don't know if I experience it regularly. I'm lucky enough that I'm currently employed in a position where I don't face customers, so I don't have too many opportunities to cuss someone out their name.
Oh man, you're lucky. That's great.
All day.
You like that, or you don't like that?
I love it. In case y'all can't tell, I'm not the most like easy personality to be around. I'm very sarcastic. I don't care about your feelings. I'll say what's on my mind because I'm a Leo and I think I'm always right. And I have a very high standard of like self-worth about myself. So if you say anything about me, I'm cussing you out your name.
Okay.
I like that. So, okay. How about you, David?
I'm not the easiest person to be around, which is why being around David is so cool, because we're both equivalent assholes. Yeah. So we link up together like magnets. We fit.
Yeah, he agrees.
But most people don't vibe like that. So for me to be in a back room somewhere minding my business, I'm totally cool with that.
Wow. Well, this show episode is coming to an end. I think I'm on like 28, 29.
I can't keep up.
I think it's 28.
Maybe.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So
That Darren Woodson number.
yeah. Appreciate y'all for
Thank you,
joining me.
guys.
This was great. And say peace out to the people. Is there any tags that you want people to know? Y'all's IGs or anything like that?
David, you run the socials, you tell them.
Yeah, you can follow us you can follow me at Playboy Poppy. That's PLEIGHBOIPAPI. You can follow Aron at.
No.
Oh, you just want the okay.
I don't need followers. Just go follow.
Okay, all right. Well,
follow the pod.
Follow the pod.
David.
Yeah, follow the pod at The Dozens Pod. That's TheDozenspod. The Dozens Pod. That's both on Instagram and on Twitter. So
Black
follow us
Twitter.
there.
Cool.
Black
Yeah,
Twitter.
go, follow us on Twitter and IG. More importantly than anything, go listen to us on your favorite platform of choice: Spotify, Apple. Drop a 5-star. Castbox, Castro, Overcast, whatever perusal you use to listen to your favorite podcasts. We're there. So just follow the show. If you like the absolute nonsensical ass-hattery that we provide, we got more of it. You can go listen to it on our podcast.
Cool. And understand that you either do or do not. There is no try.